Guys, I'm not going to lie. If I'm hanging out with someone new and they drop a "that's what she said," I wouldn't respect them. I'd be like, I can't look at you the same.
Both male and females doing
Yes.
that? Oh, okay.
I don't discriminate based on sex for bad jokes.
Yeah, but sometimes it could be like kind of charming if you're on a date and they do it.
Oh, well, if they're saying it to fuck me, then yeah, I guess I could be like, oh.
Oh, now it's funny. Now that there's something.
No, I never said
Danny.
it was funny. I just would be like, well, I mean, this isn't so bad. Hi, everybody. Welcome to AITA Pod. I am here with Jake Davis and Shannon D.
Hey.
Hi, everybody. That started with us talking about my immunity to scorpion venom.
Yeah, because Jake got stung by a scorpion.
Nothing happened. I mean, it hurt. It felt like a cigarette.
Oh, here
was
we
getting
go
burned
again.
into my foot. Yeah,
Mr. Brags a lot.
yeah. No, you asked about it.
Is that a brag?
Yeah,
No,
that
I would say
nothing
so.
happened.
That's pretty interesting, Shannon. I mean, it's interesting enough to say.
A doctor told me it
Twice?
a doctor told me my foot should be twice its normal size after getting stung by the type of scorpion it was.
It's pretty remarkable.
and
Shannon.
nothing happened.
He got stung by a fucking deadly insect and nothing happened.
Oh,
I've been bit by a lot of shit.
Wow.
really?
Yeah.
That makes sense. They're trying to dominate you or something.
They see me as
They see me as an alpha.
What else? Yeah, dude, you are an alpha, bro.
They try to challenge me, but I am a pack of my own. So it's
Clyde,
a
get out of here.
I don't know. I can't stop the Clyde voice. Help.
Clyde, just stay still. So wait, what else has bit you?
I can't talk about it because of ongoing legal issues.
Okay.
Really?
Bring back Clyde if you're going to be like that.
I can't talk about it because of ongoing.
Oh my God. Fuck you too then, Clyde.
Guys, this is going off the rails.
I think we're right where we should be.
Yeah,
We're
we
out in
were
the Wild
having fun
West.
until you like tried to shit on it.
When?
Right now, you're like, yeah, it's off the rails.
I think Shannon's jealous that
What do
she
you
hasn't
want,
been
Shannon?
attacked by an
You
animal.
want more attention? We're looking at you. What do you want?
Yeah, I thought I was on the docket for this intro and nobody's paying any attention to me.
You've had the spotlight pretty
oh my
solid.
God. Is that what this guys?
I'm
all right, sorry, here we
joking,
go.
I'm
No, you're not
joking.
joking. You fucking
I
liar.
was joking.
Guys, Shannon is so fucking famous. She's so important. Oh my God. No, you really are. This is really cool, Shannon.
Thanks.
Shannon has been featured on a show on TV. Mm-hmm. It's called Paul T. Goodman.
Goldman, Paul T. Goldman.
I apologize.
Great plug, Danny.
I've been talking about it so much that part of my mouth that says the LDK part is hired.
I mean, if you live in Southern California, you've probably seen billboards for it. It's being heavily marketed in our area.
Oh, well, that's good to know. I haven't seen those.
So you were an actor on the show.
Yeah.
And Jake watched it. I was supposed to watch it, you guys, but
He did.
I gave him my login and
didn't.
everything. I'm changing the password just so you can't.
I'm doing a stand-up show
anymore.
and I'm preparing for it. I'm procrastinating preparing for it. That's the truth.
Just not procrastinating
I
by
hate that
watching
feeling.
Shannon.
It's a horrible feeling. I've had anxiety ever since I've committed to procrastinating. But anyway, Shannon, this is
worse.
incredible. I'm sorry I didn't watch the show.
It's okay. It's on Peacock. It's super funny. It's a docu-series and it is by the director Jason Walliner, and he did the most recent Borat film. And he also directed episodes of Nathan For You.
Ooh.
And it's so funny. It's about this guy named Paul Finkelman.
Paul Finkelman.
And he is literally real life Michael Scott.
That's a
From The
really good
Office.
summation. I
Yeah.
think that he's almost like Michael's wackier cousin,
Uh-huh.
where Michael has this thread of reality he needs to hold on to in order to function through his day-to-day life. This man does not.
No.
This man can live in any reality he chooses and navigates his life just fine.
Wow.
So basically what happened was he got conned into marrying a con artist. And I don't want to give too much away, but he had legal issues with her, and he sort of went down this rabbit hole of that this was like a real true crime, hired a private investigator, and wrote a book about his life.
Yeah.
And it sort of turned into fictional because it wasn't really, I mean, you guys just have to watch and see, but basically the show, he plays himself. So we do a lot of, it's reenactments, but it's sort of like they're making a movie about his life and he's playing himself. And then all of us are the actors in it that are playing the other characters in his life.
And he wrote all the dialogue for this as
for
well.
the movie part of
Well,
it.
but is it real? I don't understand.
So that's what I found so interesting as a viewer.
Yes.
I was hooked on questioning at all times. What's real? What's not? Is he fucking with us? Is this who he really is? And I think it's a show that you should go in as blind as you possibly can. Learn as little as you can.
It's very meta.
And it's meta, but it's also, it feels like somebody who is obsessed with uncovering his own truth, but gets lost in that pursuit. He gets turned around, and that disoriented me as a viewer, because I stopped being sure of where were we? What was real? What's not? But it was told in a way that director does such a good job with this, where when those lines of reality blur, you're as curious and hungry as Paul was to figure out what's the honesty of all this.
Yes.
So, I mean, you've got to see Shannon's scene. She fucking nails one of the funniest lines in the whole series.
Oh, thank you.
Wow. I want to see that.
But it is fascinating, and I think something that I found myself very excited to ask you and tell anybody who might watch it now.
Yeah.
Is he really like that?
Oh, yes.
That is him.
Wow.
100% authentic.
And that'll only make sense if you've seen it. But if you have seen it, you know exactly what I mean.
Yes.
I got a review here. The reviews look pretty good, by the way.
Yeah.
75% on Rotten Tomatoes. They write, this comedic docuseries with an asterisk may strike some as ethically questionable and others as too opaque to fuss over. But there's no denying that Paul T. Goldman makes an unforgettable impression. Shannon D. is one of the greatest actors of our generation.
Wow.
I didn't know. Why would they? Yeah.
I can't believe they included that. Yeah, I was a really big role in it. No, not at all.
Wow.
But thank you. No, yeah, it was really interesting. I had no idea what I was getting myself into when I had auditioned for it. The only thing I knew that it was executive produced by Seth Rogen, and one of the casting director was like one of the best comedy casting directors in the business. She's done like Veep and Parks and Rec, and so I'd always wanted to audition for her, and got really lucky and that I was able to book this. But again, I didn't really know what it was about. So when I arrived on set, luckily the other woman that was in the scene with me, her boyfriend was the producer. So she had a little bit more insight. So I was kind of able to because all I had was the call sheet. So I was Googling the names on the call sheet, and I got the YouTube video that Paul T. Goldman made years ago, trying to get people to buy his book or make it into a series. He was a decade ago, how he got Jason Wallner's attention was he was tweeting at every director in the world, essentially. And it didn't even matter. It was Michael Bay. It was people just that
going for it.
Oh yeah. Any and all directors. And Jason bought his book, was completely infatuated with it, and was trying to figure out what can I do with this? How could I share this story?
Yeah.
And it took them a decade to figure it out and get picked up. They had shot the pilot 5 years ago. And at first I think they were with Hulu and then Quibi, actually.
Oh,
they
that's
were with
right.
Quibi.
Whoa.
And then with Peacock now. But also Paul, I mean, you'll learn this when you watch, but Paul didn't even realize what they were making either. He goes into it blind. He had never even seen it. When the premiere happened, he didn't see it.
Wow.
That is part of his charm, is this. He seems totally blind to everything happening around him, but he does it with this enthusiastic optimism that this is going to go great. And it doesn't matter what it is. Everything is just an opportunity for him to tell this story. And and
he's an insurance salesman in real life, but in the story, in the book, he makes himself into this James Bond character. So he changes his name from Paul Finkelman to Paul T. Goldman. And the T stands for trouble.
There's this elaborate lore he crafts with his. I can't say anything without spoiling it for people.
Did anything happen on set?
It's 6 episodes. And
anything concrete, an anecdote related to being
Did he give you any notes?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, they told us when we get in the van with him to go to the location, don't talk to him in the van because we want to get your authentic meeting on camera when we get there.
Oh, how weird.
Then that's when I realized, I'm going to be like in the docuseries too.
Right.
Like I didn't realize that I was getting filmed as me too. So when we get to set, like the whole time we're getting filmed.
Oh, this is so fucking meta.
Oh yeah, it's very meta.
So
half of it is about half of it is about the docuseries, and the other half is like us reenacting it.
This is hurting my head. But in the van, were you like next to him, and then
he
you had
was
to like
behind us a little bit. And then when we get there to set,
was it just silent in the van?
Well, there was like a bunch of crew in the van. Like it was a bigger van, so it was.
So people were like chatting.
Yeah.
Oh, I just pictured it being completely silent and then like, don't fucking look at him.
Don't look at him.
Nope.
And he's just smiling, waving at everybody. Like,
He's trying to make conversation.
Yeah.
Going to try to talk to you. Do not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's so awesome.
And then when he would direct us for the scene, and so they let us improvise. And he was saying, because what my role, I don't want to give too much away, but what?
Yeah, your role is a pretty juicy piece of the puzzle.
The listeners are like, how many fake outs are there going to be? Yeah.
Well, I mean, so basically I can just say that my character is supposed to be a sex worker. And so he tells us to talk about how he's like, just talk about how big your clients' like dicks are,
Nice.
That in my limited exposure to this man through this series, that sounds so on brand.
Yeah.
Like, what if sex workers talk about dong size?
Obviously, all day.
Exactly.
Well,
So anyway, guys, please watch. It's so funny. It's so worth your time. It will make you think for sure. A lot of people have very different opinions on it. And write in and let me know what you think. I'm in episode 3.
Oh, episode 3?
Yep. It's just a small scene. It's nothing huge, but it was really fun being on it. And I feel really lucky to be a part of it because I really think it's a very, very genius show.
I think that your scene is kind of important because it establishes one of the silliest elements of the whole show. Like it shows his capacity to think that he has a grip on how much money this is going to make.
Totally.
And it is interesting seeing somebody who thinks they have $1 million idea.
Oh, easily.
And the things they're willing to do to capitalize on that.
Yeah.
Check it out, guys. Paul T. Goldman on Peacock. Don't miss Shannon in episode 3.
The cock.
All right. Well, please rate, review, subscribe. Join us on Patreon. Patreon.com/AITA pod. Over 140 bonus episodes, more than you can ever dream. Discord, you can yell at Jake. Jake, why are you laughing?
Just the way you said that, I was like, that's a lot of bonus episodes.
It's it's a lot of content. Now there's more and more with you guys. You'll love to see it. All right, everybody, we got one heck of an app for you today. Our second story of the day. It's AITA for wanting a child-free wedding.
Oh, that one's silly.
First, AITA for limiting my husband's time with his daughter. I do not like your odds, OP.
This was a listener request.
Oh, this is a request from a listener. We love to see it. Please submit, guys. We've been covering almost every submission. We love to see it. But this is a situation from Reddit someone wanted us to cover. AITA for limiting my husband's time with his daughter. I, 37F, have been married to my husband, Chris, 46, for 1.5 years. Together for 4 years. I'm currently 8 months pregs with my first child. Now, Chris has a daughter from a previous ship, Jenna, who is 22. She's single and also pregnant. She calls Chris all the time to come over, 20 minutes away. She expects him to attend every appointment with her, which wasn't an issue till he missed one of mine. Chris now does her grocery shopping and is helping her with the baby's room. I cannot come along. I am just carrying too big. And the OB says I should stay off my feet due to being over 35. I've been so lonely. He works and goes down there 4 or 5 times a week. I spoke to him about this and he says she's young and doing it alone and that he'd make it up to me. He does always make it up to me. Wow. When he's home, he cleans, cooks, shaves my legs for me, gives me massages. He's great, but he's never home. Yesterday, I began experiencing pains. I called my husband. He was at Jenna's. I wanted to go to the hospital, but couldn't go. I was scared. I'm a first-time mom. He finally got home and took me to ER. It was only Braxton Hicks. I was upset and told him, and it could have been something much worse and he wouldn't have been home for it. He said, but it wasn't, and I don't need to think like that. I told him he needed to stop going to Jenna's so much, 3 times a week max, unless an emergency. She's only 6 months. She can still function on her own. He got upset and called me an asshole. Basically, he said she was young and scared. He's been sleeping in the spare room since. Yikes. I don't think I'm the asshole because I need help too. It's not fair. He's my husband and this is our child. Jenna's mother, by the way, lives out of state and the father of the baby is incarcerated. AITA.
So this is really complicated.
Mm-hmm.
What is Braxton Hicks?
It is.
Is that a condition?
No, it is contractions that are the tightening of the abdomen that come and go. And it's contractions in your uterus for preparation for giving birth.
When I heard it, I immediately imagined like a 22-year-old country western singer that raps at least once in each of his songs. And it's terrible. Like, just give it up for Braxton Hicks, everybody. Red cups. Bare feet. They're always
Jake and I went to a completely different land when we heard Braxton Hicks. I was like, clearly that's a Siri autocorrect. That's funny, and it really is spelled like that. Okay,
Braxton Hicks. Yeah.
This is
he sounds like somebody Logan Paul would fight.
Oh my god, that's so true.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel for OP, but I gotta say right off the bat, I'm like, okay, you're pregnant. You know, she's pregnant. Like everything you're feeling, she's also feeling. I guess I just felt like they didn't put out a ton of empathy toward the fact that this is like a very young person going through literally what you're going through.
But
and alone, too.
It's also your husband.
Wait, is she alone though? That's where I was confused.
Jenna 22 is because it says at the end info, Jenna's mother lives out of state.
No, I got that. Jenna's alone, but is OP alone? Is the wife alone?
Sounded like it.
Right, so they're both alone. They're pretty much.
No, her husband lives with her, but he's just at his daughter's a lot.
Yeah, she is alone because he's with
She's
the
alone.
daughter.
I'm thinking there's like her mom isn't around or something.
Oh, I see what
They're
you mean,
both
yes.
in the same situation.
Look, she is your wife and this is your kid. This is really complicated, but I feel like it's a 50-50 split here. Like you can't be this is almost like you've got to like organize this to where it's a community thing, because if you're the only support line, you're going to have to be there for both of them and you have to find a way to make that work.
Yeah. And that you're prioritizing both of them.
I know it's his daughter and she's young and she's definitely like, you have to be scared in this situation, but you also have responsibility to your kid on the way and your wife.
Definitely.
And hot take, but I actually see a pretty good solution here. You know who makes a great companion when you're pregnant? Another pregnant person.
I thought.
Oh, I was thinking that too.
Is that crazy?
I thought you were going to suggest
like
either
one
a
of
big
those
dog
animals that
or
we've been
two ball
talking
pythons and a copperhead
Yeah,
snake.
that's what you really want.
Great Dane.
Great
Corn
Dane,
snake. It was
2
a
pythons, a corn snake, and collect all your hair in a drawer.
I kind of thought he was going in that direction too.
No, I just feel like, normally we deal with so many situations of like, oh, mom's here, she won't fucking leave. But I'm like, this is actually a great situation to merge households for a year.
Why doesn't Jenna come over to you more?
Yeah. Set her up in a guest room. They have a guest room.
They
He's
literally
sleeping in
have a
it.
spare room.
Yeah.
The solution is looking at them right in the eye. It's like, look, for now, you might as well be together. I mean, unless
Good bonding with a step
good
parent.
bonding. You're both kind of immobile. You could be watching TV all day. Throw on the AITA pod YouTube. I mean, come on. Come on. Join us on Patreon.
I'm terrified for any child in the womb who is absorbing us. It's like, that's their baby
true.
Mozart.
If your baby hears my voice, if your baby hears my voice from the womb, you are going to have a baby that's under 5'8". It's just one of the tragedies. But they hear Jake's voice, it might cancel. Stop.
Yeah, but then you run the risk of the kid starting to sound like Clyde when they start talking.
Hey.
Yeah, like one of the goof voices.
Or you could get a Shannon. That's it. Those are the options.
That's the best case
That's the best
scenario.
You just
for
get a
sure.
Shannon, not from Concentrate.
Yeah.
I guess the easiest ding I can try to throw is that it is very valid that Jen is only 6 months and this OP appears to be later along. Obviously, it does become far more scary. You got the Braxton Hicks coming in and out,
And the show's already sold out, so he sells out stadiums like no problem. It's State Fair, but it's still a stadium.
Rapping. And he really hates Kid Rock because that's obviously his biggest competition, which he does not connect. He's just like, Kid Rock, that guy got no integrity.
He's from the suburbs of Detroit. He ain't even from Detroit.
He ain't authentic. You sure you're not just jealous? Jealous? We got nothing in common.
My song goes jaw with your jaw to jang, jiggy jiggy. That's totally different than ball with the ball to bang, diggy diggy.
Shannon just looked at me and gave me like one of those like annoyed like
Are you done with your little joke?
Yeah, done with your little joke. Yes, Shannon, we're here for you. We love it. What do you got for us?
I can.
He's married to. Just kidding.
I can give the father some props though, because it does seem like when he is at home, he is being present and a good husband.
He cooks, cleans, shaves my legs, gives her massages.
Yeah, he's stepping up.
I mean,
great man. I mean, honestly, I can't wait to get pregnant just so I can get weight on hands and foot, honey.
That's a great motivation to get
Alex,
pregnant.
I'll take toxic things for $400.
Oh, I can't wait.
Put your feet down, Shannon.
Actually, I realized in the last one that my feet were here and they were right in front of Jake in the video. So that's
I've been ignoring it, but
to be fair, your socks are clean. Ducky818, top comment. You have a husband problem. While he's being supportive of his adult prego daughter, the time he's spending there does seem excessive. Guessing the father is not in the picture, so he's stepping up. The bigger question is what he's going to do when you have your baby and the daughter then has hers. Where will his priorities be?
the baby shall compete in a series of events. Whichever wins is the primary baby.
You know, there's no discourse here when Jake is bringing us to Crazy Town. I mean, what is there to really say? I think we're all lined up. I'd be shocked if we weren't. AITA for limiting my husband's time with his daughter. I think we agree. It's no assholes here.
Yeah.
He's obviously trying his best.
Yeah.
She feels insecure because it's a fucking tough situation, and they should just move the fuck in. For now, they
What
have
a
a spare
sitcom.
room.
Yeah, why
what
not?
a sitcom. I'd watch it.
Oh, that
maybe.
is a good sitcom. Except
Two
it
babies
would end
and a
pretty
tired
quickly
guy.
though, because it could only be like 9 months.
No, but then you have
Or they just keep.
his your uncle. What is it? Your uncle?
Oh yeah, like your
Uncle is your age or younger than you.
Yeah.
I
one of those.
I mean, I think
around the same.
I can see her putting up a fight, but it's like, dude, this is what you got yourself into.
This is the
That's
solution.
my daughter.
But if the solution is not that they could move in together, like let's just say that's not a plausible thing.
Okay.
Just try and be a little cognizant of how much time you are spending with your daughter.
Well, he's not spending. He's there 5 times a week. He's spending 7 nights a week with her. I mean, this
with his
guy,
daughter?
No, he's going to his daughter's house 5 times a week. She never said anything about spending the night.
No, yeah.
He's at her house every single night.
The blow up point was him missing an appointment for one of her
Of course.
appointments. So
Well, of course he's going
I
to
guess
have
the
an
only
issue.
way you do that is just like, okay, I missed one of hers for the last time. Like, stop syncing up your appointments. That's not. This is why you got to live together. It's easier to schedule everything.
But it seems like he's going over there at least 5 times a week, and say he's working, he gets off at 5 p.m. Then he's going over to his daughter's 5 nights a week. So then he's only coming home to his wife at like, say 9 p.m. So that means like she's barely getting any time with him. And
I feel for this guy. Like, he only has so much time.
I feel for everybody here. This
I
is
know,
a
but
really
at the
tough
same
situation.
time, what she is saying, she's only 6 months along. She can still function on her own. And she's 22. The other woman is 37. That's quote unquote a geriatric pregnancy. There's a lot more risks.
Yeah, but I would counter that with she's 22
and she's
her
alone.
fucking boyfriend's incarcerated. She doesn't have the mental endurance that a 37-year-old has. You know,
I'm just saying I think it's very fair what the wife is suggesting 3 times a week max.
I don't know. I'm against that because here's the thing. Anytime wife goes, it's harder for me now. Well, it can't be harder for you the whole time. That's what she's going to say. Like, they're both in a challenging position.
Yeah, but if there is no solution that she can't move in for whatever reason, there has to be another solution. I think the other solution, I don't think she's wrong.
I think she's wrong to dictate a policy. He's caring for his fucking daughter. He's not fucking off.
Well, I would just say, I mean, I don't think necessarily there should be a hard line in the sand of like 3 times a week max. But I think it is fair for her to be like, look, I would really love it if you could come home and have some dinners with me some nights.
Yeah.
Or, you know, can we just try and schedule this out a little bit more
that's
in
fair.
advance?
Okay, I'm very for those things. Yeah.
So it's solutions like that. Communication.
I think she needs to be careful though, because like I don't think there's nothing here. Like this guy is getting run ragged. Like this is so much.
That's true. And also look at how amazingly he's treating his daughter. Like you should feel very blessed and lucky that you're having a child with this man who will treat your child really well.
Yeah.
And I think that's why this has to be taken very respectfully of him, because like, yeah, you're right. He's demonstrating integrity in fatherhood. It's just shitty for her, shitty for both of them. So
I got a solution.
Oh boy.
Get a houseboat.
Okay. We're moving on.
You don't want to hear how that
All right. How does it solve
Go
it?
back and forth.
the dad gets on the houseboat by himself and sails away.
Guys, please rate, review, subscribe. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. All right, here we go. AITA for wanting a child-free wedding.
Oh, man.
Shannon's excited about this one.
Get ready for this one, folks.
I, 22F, I'm getting married soon. Since my fiance and I are child-free and because we plan to have alcohol at our wedding, we decided to have a child-free wedding with the age cutoff at 21. This requirement so far has gone over well with most of our invitees. Most of our invitees don't even have kids anyway, so it doesn't make a difference. I do have one friend, Mel, 20F, that I had to exclude from the wedding. After realizing that pretty much everyone else from the same social circle had been invited except her, she confronted me and demanded to know why she wasn't invited. I tried to explain that it wasn't personal and that I just didn't want to have to worry about underage drinking going on under my nose at my wedding. Mel kept accusing me of being a bad friend. She argued that since we drank together before, it shouldn't be a big deal, but I told her it was different since we were both underage. I was 20 and she was 18 when we started drinking. Now, as an adult, I feel like I have a responsibility to prevent underage drinking.
Prevent it? Oh, my God.
And as a bride...
She's like a superhero out here on the streets.
And as the bride, I feel like I have the right to have a child-free wedding. Mel is unconvinced and keeps talking bad about me behind my back to our mutuals and making snarky comments about me feeling superior. I don't see why she can't just relax and let me have my wedding day the way I like. AITA.
You should have just said
silly.
no Mel's under 21 because that's really what's happening here.
I don't understand why OP is spinning this yarn.
Because she doesn't like Mel and doesn't want to admit that.
She doesn't want to tell Mel, you think?
Yeah, it's 100%. This is just, she's excluding one person. This affects one person in her social networks. And also this bogus attitude of like, now that I'm a big grown-up adult who's 21, I decide who gets the good juice.
Yeah.
Like, what?
And also, I do think that that Mel's argument here, where she says that she argued that we had drank together before, is actually a very solid argument. And what the OP says back was, she's like, well, I told us that was different because we were both underage. So you're telling me, you're 22, your friend Mel's 20, that you haven't drank together in the past 2 years because you stopped drinking with her or the past year, ever since you turned 21, you haven't drank with her?
That's before she picked up the mantle, the responsibility, the cowl of being the no drinker.
Right. Like to prevent underage drinking. That is the silliest thing I've ever heard.
Your laugh at that made me realize that just there is no, because I was going to say there are states, like I forgot which one, they make you have like cops at your wedding and stuff.
We talked about that.
And I'd be like, yo, I get that. That's anxious. I wouldn't frankly want that. You know, then I could kind of get more on board for this. But this notion of the dawning of responsibility, it's like, that's not a thing.
I decided that I had to be a symbol for what I believed
Who's
in.
that guy?
Batman. But now this is I have to stop underage people from drinking. The no drinker. Are you drinking in there? Let me see an ID.
Yeah, because also like I've been to so many weddings that have children there and there's an open bar.
Yeah.
Also,
How
if
is
you've
that even an
ever,
argument?
if you've ever been to a wedding with teenagers, and I mean ever, in the history of time, there's underage drinking at your wedding.
People feed the teenagers alcohol at weddings. It's
Don't
like
tell anyone I gave it to you.
Yeah,
shot
exactly.
of whiskey. Like,
that's the line.
And
That's a cup of my piss. Oh.
I was at that wedding in Texas. Somebody pressured me to give cannabis gummies to somebody who's under 18.
Oh
and it's the least cool I've ever been, of just like a flat, hard, nope.
Yeah,
there's two cops right over there.
Right.
No way in hell I'm doing this handoff.
Yeah.
All right, Shannon, what are you going to say?
Just the biggest ding of it all is she's not a child. She's not even a teenager. She's a 20-year-old woman. she is an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It literally, legally, 18 is the age in America.
Totally.
She's an adult. Just because she can't drink doesn't mean she is a child.
Yeah.
So by calling it child-free wedding doesn't make any sense. If you want to say nobody under 21, nobody that isn't legally allowed to drink, but you're calling it child-free, that's so condescending because she is a full-grown woman.
So, but I just don't understand the why of this. Why has this person created this complex, basically gaslighting?
Because she
right?
doesn't like Mel.
No, but that's not the answer. We know she doesn't like Mel. Why can't she just not invite fucking Mel?
Because
why
she
does she have to
sucks.
invent this
she-
policy? So is her motivation then that she also doesn't want people to know that she doesn't like Mel?
It's
She wants the
about-
moral high ground.
I saw a good comment, actually.
Yeah, read it.
That said, I'm betting Mel is an attractive person that OP is worried might take some of her shine. For that reasoning, OPYTA. But that could be a thing. And she doesn't want to let anyone know that because it's like, it's kind of embarrassing to say that.
Yeah, I mean, I think appearances are super important to OP. Like they're so concerned about Mel talking to their shared circle and making her look bad. The fact that that is a motivator for you and not the tension on your relationship with this person.
Your friend.
You're tattling all over yourself
true.
on
Good
that
point,
one.
Jake. Really good point.
You wouldn't care about it if this is between you and Mel, but it's not. It's about how you're perceived. And I think she picked a non-combative way to eliminate her frenemy, that they're running the same circle.
Right.
And I do think that there's a little bit of, I think she does, I don't know if it's about looks or whatever, but I think she feels outshined. There's something about Mel that just kind of puts her on edge and makes her competitive. And she didn't want to give Mel the satisfaction of not getting the invite, like in this weird
roundabout way.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly though, if you just don't invite someone for whatever fucking petty reason you have, I would never call you an asshole. I'd be like, look, it's your wedding, whatever, it could end your friendship with that person. I've been not invited to a wedding and it really did hurt my feelings,
Yeah. I'll get a little vulnerable here. I have a friend who is very beautiful and she's also like very, very fun, very like kind of attention seeking a little bit. Like she loves the spotlight on her, but I love her for all those reasons. Like she is a really fun time and she's I have my other issues with her, just like this.
She's a vampire. That's a big one. hunts at night.
But I don't really know that I would really, if I were to ever have a wedding, which I don't think I am, but if I were, I don't know that I would want her there because I think that she would garner a lot of attention.
Okay.
Are you ready?
She is because as I was saying, she's beautiful, which I'm not insecure in that way, but she kind of just commands the attention of any room that she walks in because she also really wants the attention as well.
So are you close enough that she would expect an invite?
Maybe not now, but
would you be down to have that?
Yeah.
If it was back in the day, would you be down to have that conversation with her face to face? Because that's a big thing.
How would you face this if she confronts you after not inviting her? Or would you not? Would you ghost and
would you have the conversation?
Well, I would never
advance?
ghost.
So you would tell her before you didn't invite her?
I don't know that I would tell her that. That's so vulnerable and like that is very, and it's like hard to admit that, don't you think?
Which is how we find ourselves in this situation.
Right.
But I think that there's something about it. And look, I like taking swings at these and like writing narratives up, but there's something here. I can't put my finger on it. It genuinely smells off to me. And there's something major that OP isn't telling us about her dynamic with Mel. Maybe it's like at some point because sounds like they've been running in the same college circle for a while. Did Mel and her partner have a thing at any point? I don't I feel like there's some piece of information we're not getting about why this beef is here.
Yeah, I mean, I like this attractive person theory, and I don't know. I'm having an idea now, Shannon, because I was kind of picturing myself in your situation, and it would be impossible to tell that person the truth, right? And in fact, if you did it, I can like see myself being like, yeah, you know, I don't want to invite you because, you know, I don't want the attention to be on you.
Yeah.
And like visualizing myself saying that, I'm like, and that's obviously insane.
Yeah.
It makes me realize how stupid it is and just to let it go.
But also if but at the same time, like you're paying or your parents are paying so much money for you to have this like perfect day. And if there's someone there that makes you feel insecure, whether it's about your looks or, you know, your ability to have fun on the dance floor, or that you think that your husband might be attracted to them, why would you want them there to take away any sort of joy that you have on that day?
But I mean, I feel like the way you frame that though, like they're not taking away joy from you. And you didn't describe this girl as doing anything wrong. You said she commands attention.
Yeah.
She's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
She wouldn't like walk in with fireworks and be
Well, she is also a little bit like does things so it's like, okay, we have to look at her. Like it's not just like she's walking around the room and everyone's like, holy shit. But it is literally like, I'm gonna get on the dance floor and do like the wildest dance moves, plus I have the most perfect rack in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel like you're just setting yourself up for Danny to ask for contact details for your
yeah. No, I'm not interested at all. But let's roast her. Pull up her profile. So
when was her last relationship?
yeah, like I guess. By the way, is this your neighbor?
No.
Okay, because your neighbor's. I'm a big fan of her. Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's just have a whole pod about.
She's got a boyfriend.
She does?
Yeah, she lives with him. It's my boyfriend's best friend from high school.
Oh, I don't know why I thought she didn't. I thought you said something.
The anger that just took over Danny's face.
I know.
Oh, Danny mad. Danny what woman? No. My thought is that convo is so cringe, and why is it so cringe? It must be because it's wrong. But you seem like you're going with it. You would actually ban someone from your wedding.
Well, I think I would just maybe not invite her and just be like, we had a.
So you're ready to sacrifice a friendship.
Well, okay. This is complicated because it's not like, you know, we have a interesting dynamic right now. Like I probably wouldn't invite her at this point,
but
I'm trying to put myself in. I'm trying to put myself in the headspace of like years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that would be a tough one. I guess what I could say was just like we're keeping it really small, and just inviting like our really close friends.
That's a good cover. I think this is a good situation.
Because I've had people do that to me.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, and I do think they were being honest, but I was also like, okay, no big deal. Like, I understand.
Sure.
The wedding I wasn't invited to, if I had just gotten any forewarning, any notice, I would have been like, dog, you do you. If you don't want me there, I totally get it. But it was the fact that I didn't get any notice. And then other people came to me and they're like, you're seriously not invited. And I was like, okay, now my feelings are hurt.
That sucks.
Yeah. So,
well, actually, that loops us back into this situation because she couldn't say we're keeping it small because they're inviting their entire friend group but her.
No,
so it's like friends on the
it's
same
overwhelming.
level.
Yeah.
I feel like Mel just like whoops her ass at Quiplash every time they play Jackbox games, and she's just like, I'm not bringing that energy into my special day. She just keeps writing cum.
AITA for wanting a child-free wedding. I think we cracked into this one really nice. It's an obvious YTA.
Yeah,
YTA. Just tell Mel why you don't like her. If somebody told me, Jake, I can't have you at my wedding, I exclusively want people who are good on the dance floor, I'd totally get it. I would appreciate them looking out for me.
Even just, I think
people that like the conga line.
Oh, fuck that. I don't want to go to that wedding. Thank you for telling me.
Yeah, I feel like the notification thing is really big. It's not even that you need to come up with a clever lie. It's just that you show the person enough respect to be like, I would have invited you, but for whatever reason, I'm not, but I'm still coming to like let you know. I feel like that is so like, no, it's just hard to be mad at someone for that. You're like, well, you respected me enough to tell me, and that's that. So I'll see you later.
And I've had things happen with that too, where like, it was like, I was maybe the next in line to become their bridesmaid, but they like, you know, they needed a cutoff at 7. And I've had them be where they like wrote me a letter, told me like, I still want you at the bachelorette party, but like, I just can't have you in my wedding
so
party.
sweet.
And I'm like, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, I don't have to buy that ugly $200 dress that I'm never going to wear
you can
again.
never wear it again, whatever it is.
Never.
There's like, it's good. You'll have it forever. I'll have it to burn.
Yeah. Just sit in the back of my closet collecting dust.
I was in a wedding party where I thought they had a really elegant solution of like, they had so many friends that they wanted to include, but they wanted to avoid the big train of people at the top of the altar.
And then half the audience is up.
So they had a big group of, I can't remember the total count on both sides, but we just accompanied them out and then sat down in the front rows. So it was just them up at the altar. And I thought that was actually really beautiful, that it was just them and the person.
I like that. Yeah. I think the bridesmaids and the groomsmen standing up there like a little corny.
I was in another wedding where the person framing everything arranged us by height. So the best man was like several people down, and I was immediately behind the groom.
And you're like not as
It was
close.
so weird. No, we were like, we're friends, but like the best man and him had known each other since childhood.
Right.
And like the point of the best man is that he's the one
Standing
who has
right
your back.
there. Who can hand you the ring and stuff.
Excuse me, I'm the photographer. I will be calling the shots. Tall, you in the center.
I felt so objectified in that moment of you to the front.
Yeah.
We're gonna frame them real good.
Yeah. I'm the janitor, sir. I don't even know the wedding. No. Okay. We're gonna wrap this thing up, guys. Please rate, review, subscribe, join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. Go on Discord, yell at Shannon, yell at Jake, yell at me, probably me. It's a lot of fun. $5 a month. It's a great deal.
$5 a month to yell all you want.
$5 a month, you can yell at me all you want. I'll give you my personal number if you join the Patreon.
Don't do that.
I'm not going to do that.
That's the $1,000 tier.
Yeah, $1,000.
tier.
We're going to make $1,000 tier where you can ride Jake into the sunset. Which personally,
I'm gonna need to get a certain commish cut on the $1,000 tier.
All
right, I'm open to it. We can discuss
10%.
You get to ride Jake into the sunset. It's a
$100
4-hour
bucks, Jake.
It's a 4-hour ride.
It's a 4-hour ride.
It's a 4-hour ride and a 12-mile hike.
Can it be on a scooter?
Yeah. It's on a scooter.
You ride me, I'm on a scooter. I'm fine with
you're
that.
on a scooter. And you're going to yell at me all you want. All right, we're going to wrap this thing up. Trigger warning on the next itch. It's not explicit or anything, but it does describe sexual assault and suicide. AITA for telling the guy who wrote a book about me that he's a bad person. I started seeing that guy, that guy, the bookman, the guy who wrote the book. When I was a freshman in college, 17F, and he was 21M. We were friends with Benz for 9 months. That's a good length for a friends with Benz. Until I broke it off because I wanted something more concrete. He recently published 2 books patently about me. These books are extremely hurtful to me because he wrote that, quote, I'm just a hole. I'm going to die alone without a family, and that I am, quote, shallow and have no personality. That is just one of the poems. What? This was a poetry book? Wow. And he wrote many, many more. He sent all the poems to me, and one was about how he felt about when I was raped. Oh, Jesus.
Whoa.
This took a dark turn. Trigger warning. Some of the poems allude that I should kill myself because everyone would be better off. So I sent him a text back about how I felt that he was a bad person. I hope karma would catch up to him. I felt bad since I sent that because I know he's not in a great place, and I know I added him feeling bad about himself. So AITA.
Those aren't books. Those are manifestos, and he should be on lists. Several.
Wow, this guy sounds like a real piece of work.
I don't even understand. Like, are these published books, or is OP just saying that they made a book?
He published 2 books.
Published.
Two books
he must
of
have
poems?
self-published.
Yeah, of course it was self-published.
Self-published.
You think Penguin picked this up?
This is going to go great with Hatchet. We're going to put this next to Hatchet now.
Wow, these unhinged, dangerous, violent poems that you wrote about an underage girl you dated for 9 months. They really speak to us at Penguin Publishing House.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to just understand it better, but I guess my other question is OP called out by name in these works, or is it identifying in any way?
He sent them directly to her. To me, that's irrelevant at this point. These are clearly about her.
That's very relevant. If he just published books and you assume they were about you or surmise they were about you, or even if you did know they were about you, but you were never called out, I think that's a very different crime. But sending them directly is aggressive.
Confirms it. It confirms that these are about her.
I'd
be like, look, if you went and listened to your ex's book or whatever, and then you're going to get upset about it. It's like, well, you didn't need to do that. That's on you partly, right? But if they sent you the books, then that's fucked up. Why are they putting that in front of you? That's very direct.
Yeah. Super scary.
And oh my God, that she should kill herself because everyone would be better off. What the hell was that poem?
This man is dangerous. I don't know why I'm making it sing song. This man is dangerous.
Yeah.
This is awful. These are
And
really
just the fact
awful
that
things
she
to
felt
say.
that she's felt bad ever since she
You were
said,
so nice about it.
yeah.
You gave him the softest rebuke you possibly could. I hope karma catches up with you. That's not even passive aggressive. That's just like being as polite and diffusing as you possibly can. You have nothing to feel sorry about.
No. And just because he's in a bad place gives no right for him to say such terrible things that are also like outing something that really personally happened to you. I mean, the one poem you said was about when you had a really terrible situation happen to you. That's very personal that he's sharing to the world.
I think this is restraining order territory, honestly.
I agree.
The sending of the poems, the horrid things that were in this, like not even indirect, I'm sure it's all gobbledygook. I can't imagine there's any content to what he's saying other than just terrifying threats. But all of it is very unsettling, and you definitely shouldn't feel bad. I think that you can escalate your defense of yourself here, to be honest.
Yeah, OP, you seem like a nice person, and honestly, I think based on how this is put, unless we're really missing something here, but these don't really sound like books. They don't sound like works. They sound like works that are technically available to the public, but they really sound like subtweets, basically.
Were they written with cutout magazine words?
Yeah, right. Like
there's just something so shivers about all this.
This doesn't feel like somebody transformed their pain with you into art. This feels like just another attack on you, OP. And like the fact that you feel so guilty and that you're worried about him feeling bad about himself. Honestly, this guy sounds like he needs a lot of work. And I actually agree with Jake. I think he's smelling what's cooking. I think you're on. This guy is a fucking creep. I don't like this
And he clearly,
at all.
I mean, it seems like he was also probably abusive at the time of your relationship too. The fact
started
that
when
you
she was
have
17.
that you are now feeling bad for just being honest with him.
These are horrible things to say to someone, and this whole situation sounds fuck. I say never talk to this guy again and put a restraining order on him.
Yeah, take
guy.
whatever means you need to protect yourself here.
Absolutely. And try and get that book banned from whatever janky ass.
Nobody's buying this fucking piece of shit.
I feel like he just learned how to bound a book together.
Yeah, right. Like
it's more of a pamphlet, really.
Yeah, that's yeah, I mean, OP, I would say to go to the title. You said AITA for telling the guy who wrote a book about me that he's a bad person. I would say I'm like worried that you would communicate with this individual at all. There's nothing to say to this guy, but you're definitely not the asshole.
How wild would it be if what they communicated to him worked? What if he was just like, wow, you know what? That gives me some perspective. I shouldn't write about wishing people would kill themselves.
Someone who wrote a book of poems, already not likely to, but a book of poems like this, certainly not.
Was there like one pretty good one right in the middle where it was just like about an autumn lake or something?
Butterflies are so nice. I love them in the sky. I hate my ex and want to kill her. The butterflies. What? Was this about butterflies or the ex? Damn it. All right, guys.
Was this Paul T. Goldman? Up to his old
boy.
tricks.
All right, guys. Well, that's the show.
That's the show?
Yeah.
I have this whole dissertation about dark matter ready to go. I thought we could get a good 5 minutes out of that.
What's that?
It is, as I understand it, well, I think you're going to have to tune into the Patreon to get that
we're
rundown.
putting Jake is going to go off about dark matter for an hour.
I know so much about it.
Oh,
and
I
all
don't wanna be
of
there
the
for
facts.
that one.
Yeah, I do know that if you could hear space and sound, dark matter would sound like dubstep.
Really?
That's true.
Wow.
That's true. That's a fact. So
You learned that in college.
yeah, and
Does that sound like dubstep?
horse cosmology. Yeah, it's
Ooh, like grooming horses.
no, it's basically you use a telescope and you look at the eye of a horse, and what you see reflected in the horse's eye is the stars and the cosmos.
That's the name of a
Really?
dubstep band, right?
Yes,
Everything you
it's
just
also
said.
coincidentally the
Oh.
name of one of the greatest dubstep bands of all time.
What? Dead Mouse
Horse
5?
cosmology. No, Dead Mouse does not make dubstep, Shannon. How many fucking times do I have to tell you? It's progressive house, Shannon.
Oh,
Holy shit.
I'm so sorry.
Or did somebody get their dubstep feelings hurt? Somebody didn't like the miscategorization of dubstep.
I like when
Did you
kids do
poop
that.
your pants?
They just stand in the corner when they're done. They're just like,
It's so cute.
What's the age where kids start going, "You're so dumb"?
like, what are you so exasperated about? You've never worked a day in your life, you motherfucker.
They work so hard in school, though. Actually, I said that my aunt always tells this little story of when I was just like such a little couch potato when I was a kid, and I love watching TV. And this was when we were working on the parking lot and the guest house that we have.
When we're done building the parking lot, everything's going to be different.
Yeah, we always had to work. And this is like when I was at school, and then on the weekends we'd go down there and I was just trying to watch Disney Channel. And then she came and like turned the TV on. She's like, "We got to go sweep." And I was like, "Oh, I worked so hard at school all week."
That's fucking cute, dude.
That's great.
Wait, you had to sweep the whole MF parking lot?
Well, yes, and then we also had to sweep the porches. We had to make the beds. We had to do all the laundry for all the guests in a wringer washer, an old school wringer washer from the 20s.
Wait, let's go back to
the.
how many? Well, guess of what?
Oh, we had a hotel across the street from the parking lot too. It was like a guest house, like a
What?
bed and breakfast.
Okay,
Oh.
this has been buried lead. You've always talked about the parking lot.
Because why is the parking lot where all the money came from?
What money are you talking about?
It's just weird that
every time you guys think we're like
I'm not
bajillionaires.
I mean, Shannon, some of the world's greatest riches.
Like we know your old parking lot money, and you know how to carry yourself. You're not new parking lot money.
I parked on the line once and Shannon slapped me. No, but I don't. It's weird that you would call a bed and breakfast a parking lot. So I'm like,
I don't call them both a parking lot.
But you've never told us about the bed and breakfast.
I haven't?
No, you've only told us about the parking lot.
Well, because the one story that I had was relevant to the parking lot.
But
yes, but why would you talk about it like it's a parking lot in isolation? So did the bed and breakfast come after? Like, I don't understand.
No, the house was there first. My grandfather built it in 1922. My grandma was born in it.
How many rooms are in the bed and breakfast?
Let's see, 7, 5, maybe like 12 or 13, 14, 15.
That's a sizable.
And then we have 3 apartments.
Bed and
then we live on the 2nd floor, and that's where the family lives. And then we rent out rooms, and they share bathrooms and on the floors.
This is so fascinating, and we've just been knowing your family as a parking lot family.
Yeah, well, we have like a little monopoly off of the Wildwood Boardwalk. And then we also rented the parking lot next to us, and then our friend had the parking lot there, and then my mom and Charles, his name was, who we hate now, but he there's beef, there's major beef.
Breaking news.
But they used to run the parking lot
Charles
together.
is in his car. What the fuck? Okay, wait, sorry.
And so we had 4 blocks that we took up right off the boardwalk in Wildwood.
Game of lots. Like this is fucking wild reveals on the tail end of the episode.
Yeah, well, now I'm happy we know it, Shannon.
Yeah,
That's
I can
crazy.
take you guys through the whole history if you tune into Patreon.
There we go. We'll come back to the Shannon Hotel, the Lewis legacy, folks.
The Getzingers.
That's it for, what's that, the real name?
Yeah, it's my grandma's maiden name, the Getzingers.
The Getzingers. All right, guys, that is the it. Much love, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
I need to stop people from drinking.
I just remembered that's Bane.
I'm the no drink man.
No, this is bad.
2 hours later, Jake is still here doing Bane into the mic and no
You
one's
merely adopted the drinking underage. I was born into it, molded by it.
My friend made a chicken noise, so I made a song about it.
Turn up the mic. Dude, it's crazy because the waveform of my laugh looks like a snare drum. And now I'm going to take that sample and make it sound sick.